Hi guys, welcome to Eight of Cups Tarot and welcome to your pick a pile card. I'm guessing, guys, that this energy will last the next week or two as I start to get into the October readings, which I have a feeling might be a little bit lengthier and meatier than usual, and I'm intending them to kind of really drain my energy more than a typical month would, because October is going to be a little bit of a rough month for people. So I expect it to take a little longer than the typical month. So I'm doing this to cover the next 2 weeks. And I'm also going to cover some of the astrology briefly. This week, we have a lot of action going on with Mercury. Usually that means that things are really chaotic. And because Mercury's moving through those last degrees of Libra, making those squares to the Capricorn energy, a lot of things are coming to the surface. A lot of things are happening now. And it's kind of like Mars and Saturn square is picking up traction. It's starting to show you what's really happening, what's really going on behind the scenes. Now, we're at the end of these squares because Mercury is meeting Pluto actually today, I believe, or tomorrow as I'm taping this, Saturday into Sunday. Mercury squaring Pluto is sort of a trigger of release. So we can expect things coming to an end. We can expect things being exposed. There is an element around death, which we see already playing out throughout the media as they release the news of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I think it's clear collectively how the rest of this Mars retrograde is going to be played out on the political field. And this week really brings that into motion. It really sets things up and things start to move fast. But things actually aren't moving at all. It's a lot of talk. So a lot of coverage. Expect yourself to be a little overloaded with the news again, going through crucial news cycles. So don't wear yourself out in that arena, and be careful with your energy, because I feel like we're all picking up on this frustration. You know, when we're all in this vibe of tension, which is exactly where we're at right now, really tense. There's things we're holding in. There's things we're not saying. And Mercury is going to move into Scorpio, and it's all going to come out. Scorpio is a release. It's a letting go. Things will end. Communication will not be shallow. It won't be small news stories. These will be big, earth-moving, life-changing sort of messages that we receive in our personal life, in the collective. And I think this is really when 2020 and all of this that's been going on starts to climax, starts to come to some sort of a culmination. We're still in that Virgo new moon energy, so we're still clearing things out. Virgo is only putting your attention to the things that deserve your attention, to the things that have potential, to the things that have the opportunity to grow. If you are not doing that, if you are not working on the things to improve yourself, to improve your life, I think that's where this energy is going to really hurt you. I don't say really hurt you like, life-threatening. But if you're digging your heels in, really focused or determined on making something happen, no matter how many obstacles are occurring, if you're refusing to go with the flow or tap into your intuition, if you're spending too much time in your mind, too much time on work, too much time watching the news, then boom, the stuff is going to be a slap in the face. It's going to be a little bit of a wound. It's going to be a hard knock. And Mercury square Pluto is ultimately the death of our egos in a way, which is what needs to happen in order so we could get to the greatest way towards healing. Again, that Mercury moving into Scorpio is going to dig up these old situations, these old traumas, these old news stories, these old partners. You have to remember that Mercury is making its way into its shadow point, and we're getting ready to do a really deep emotional dive when Mercury goes retrograde through the sign of Scorpio. And retrograde Mercury will not cease until November 13th. So it's not going to be a short journey. It's not going to be a rough weekend. We really have to be set up for a few weeks of instability, of facing fears. So it's important to take care of you. It's important to nurture yourself. And it's really important, I say this all the time, but it's imperative now that you really do tap into your intuition, that you really do take time to heal yourself at a soul level. It's really important that if your body is telling you to rest, to rest. If you're getting headaches, turn the news off, turn the radio off, turn the music off. Soften yourself in any way that you can, because Mars in retrograde is really wearing at us. And there's probably a build up. You know, when Mars began its retrograde, it was almost like a lull, a pull back. We pulled back our energy, but we held things in. Mercury and Libra, we didn't really communicate what was really going on. We didn't really talk. We didn't say the words. We didn't get the real stories in the news. We didn't get the truth. And this energy that we're stepping towards means now we got to see it. Now we got to face it. And I think a lot of the things that come to light will ultimately help us gain our strength and our healing process. Mercury going into Scorpio is very much of a healing process, and it's affecting the root chakra, the very foundations of our life. Probably a lot of ways that we always gauge the world to be. There may be some disappointments. There may be some disappointments in things that you really believed in, things that you really wanted to work out. But ultimately, this time is a blessing. Ultimately, this Mars retrograde says you're not going to be able to proceed doing the things that aren't fitting the path towards your future. You're being forced to take the path of least resistance now. And it's going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky for people in a fixed sign energy. It's going to be tricky for you to gain footing because you're so held into the past of how things used to be. And there's simply no other option but change right now. No other option than to get involved, to get moving. And in order to gain the strength to move, we've really got to purge this stuff out of our emotional being, out of our emotional bodies. And ultimately, during this square with Pluto and Mercury, we're going to have that opportunity. Venus is getting ready to be very debilitated, meaning the malefic planets are really going to be in their power, really an exalted energy. And the things that typically soften the atmosphere will not be so apparent at this time. We're not going to be rescued There may be a lot of us going through struggles financially, having a hard time making ends meet. Jupiter sextiling Neptune, it could be a reckoning of what we were sort of over-idealizing. Kind of these hopes and wishes that you were hoping to come true. And this week says, oh my God, it's really not going to happen. This is really not going to happen. We step into that sun moving into Libra. We are moving into the fall equinox, meaning that things are quieting down. Things are closing up. We're stepping into the energy of the leaves falling off the tree, meaning that there are elements of our life, there are elements within us that we are shedding because they no longer fit our vibration. Oftentimes, this is a separating aspect. It's a separating time. It's a time to be a little bit more withdrawn, which I know is not a wonderful energy in a year where we've been kind of trapped inside anyways. But it's a time of letting go. It's a time of letting go to the things you can't control. And I have a feeling that this autumn equinox may be really uncomfortable. And it may feel like we're heading towards a really cold winter. But there are things that are happening behind the scenes, beneath the surface right now. That if we're not careful with our energy, if we're not careful with our intentions, if we're not taking a second look at the things we assumed were going to work out, if there's an area of our life where we've had rose-colored glasses on, we're being forced to remove those. We're being forced to look at things in every aspect of brutal reality. That's what Saturn is right now. Saturn moves direct at the end of the month. He is stationing and he is making you make changes to those structures. Mercury is showing you with Pluto what needs to be torn down, what isn't working. And I always remind everyone when we go through a Pluto transit that is a testament to how we handle control in our lives. It always comes out as a power struggle. It could come out with struggling with addictions, struggling with negative thought processes, struggling with allowing people to have power over us. And so again, this time is a gift because we are allowed to see Sun moving into Libra, illuminating our partnerships, illuminating our balance within our lives, our issues with codependency. It's illuminating why we're doing the things we're doing, why we're behaving the way we're behaving. So the things we're shown may be shocking. The things that we're shown in the next couple of weeks might really feel harsh. But trust me when I tell you that they are ultimately for our greatest good. All right, let's get to these cards. I've chosen 3 piles. The first pile is yellow. It's an aura color that reminds me of finding your worth, finding your happiness. It's about blessings from the universe. It's also somewhat of an earthy element. I don't know why this intuitively came to me. It is a blessing because when you plant seeds in the ground, you need happiness. You need the sunshine to help them grow. So it's an idea that there are blessings within your life now And you may not see them as blessings, but ultimately leading you to a much happier ending. Okay? Card number, or pile number 2, is this deep blue stone. An element on communication and an element on healing. There's rest within this color. There is the need for some peace, the need for some quiet, and there's a sense of acceptance in some manner. Pile number 3, this beautiful greenish teal or colored stone. This is very much an opening of a heart chakra, meaning it's probably regarding love. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic love. Of course, it could be the love for a parent or a child or friends, co-workers, siblings, but significant relationships of some sort I pick up from this pile. And it's really more in regards to the lessons we're learning within these relationships, which will lead to us being able to open our hearts to accept love, to receive love in, and heal some of those old childhood wounds that we probably harbor, which are forming blockages in our ability to create stable and loving relationships that we deserve. Okay, so let's get started on pile number 1. I don't know what area you guys are from, but I'm in the Cleveland area, and I have to tell you that it is freezing right now. I've actually been forced to turn on my heat, which really is not, I'm a freeze baby, so if my house is below 70, I'm putting on sweaters and turning on the heat, but nonetheless, the heat was on. Okay. King of Wands is your energy. Your environment is that of the moon. We have the Hermit card, the Knight of Wands, the Three of Swords, the Five of Cups in reverse, and the Nine of Pentacles. Clarifying the Hermit is a card of death and rebirth. Clarifying the Knight of Wands is the Three of Swords again. Clarifying the Three of Swords is the Three of Cups. Clarifying the Five of Cups in reverse is the Four of Swords. And clarifying the Nine of Pentacles is the Three of Wands. Okay, your oracle cards. Beautiful. Okay, pile number 1. I really like that your energy is coming out of that of the King of Wands, because just below it is the Knight of Wands. So it's an indication that whatever it is you're going through at this time, you are growing from it. It is serving a purpose for you so that you can move forward in your life, so that you can begin to reap rewards. Like I said, we're in this period of time where we really want things to move and they're not, which means we have no choice but to look at what these blockages are, to face them, to talk about them, to have those talks, to make those decisions. Now, your environment being that of the moon, which is this really beautiful card, means that you may be feeling a little bit in the dark, not really knowing where you're going to go next. I don't know, I'm picking up an element of loneliness in this particular card. There's an element of, there's an overall energy for sure in this reading of the need for rest, the need for rejuvenation within your soul, the need for healing, the need for forgiveness. And I think the moon energy is a gift, honestly. Like, I think that it's what's nurturing this growth. Now, the Hermit card, clarified by death and rebirth, shows me that you may have been going down, maybe you were headed down a wrong path in a way. Maybe you were spending too much time or too much energy on the wrong things. Hermit card with death and rebirth means there has to be an ending of some sort, for sure. An ending of something that was probably in your life for the purpose of transforming something deep within you, something deep rooted. And I think the Hermit energy is really shining a light, putting an emphasis, even intuitively, even representing, Saturn and Virgo season. It's sort of those lessons. There's hard lessons here. With those lessons comes wisdom. If you are willing to transform, if you are willing to see the areas in your life that need to be changed. Hermit card is an energy of retreat. So there may be something that you're pulling back from, something that you're retracting energy from. The Hermit card can be where we tend to shy away from social gatherings. We're not really working well with other people right now. It's kind of a solo time, maybe spending a lot of time in your home, in your safe place, kind of spending a lot of time reflecting, oftentimes reflecting on the past and what those past lessons were. And the Hermit card next to the Knight of Wands, which is clarified by this Three of Swords, tells me that maybe you weren't so responsible. Maybe there's elements of compulsiveness. Maybe as Mars was in Aries, you may have let some element of your life maybe get a little bit out of control. Maybe being a little too swayed by desire. And I do have to say there are an awful lot of threes, 2 Three of Swords and a Three of Cups, which does indicate to me a third party of some sort. And with the Knight of Wands, maybe there is in some way, shape, or form that you weren't so gentle with somebody's heart, that you weren't so concerned with somebody else's emotions or feelings. It's sort of a feeling of going after something toxic, going after something that only serves you or satisfies your desire for a moment. Because beneath that, with the Three of Swords, is self-sabotage, right? And the Knight of Wands is always willing to move fast. It's always willing to really go for something, right? Really get himself into some sticky situations because he doesn't always have the consequences in his mind. King of Wands sometimes can be very selfish. And sometimes he can come from a place of ego, and our egos can have really self-sabotaging needs, right? Maybe seeking attention or affection from other people in order to fill a void within yourself. But I think you step into this energy realizing that this really only serves to break your own heart. These situations, these messy situations, whether they're exposed or not, whether the secret comes out, whether you break somebody's heart or they simply never know, the damage is still done. You can't change energy. You can't take an action back. And so it's almost as if it were to be exposed, it would be a relief. If this secret were to come out, if this relationship were to be exposed, if you took money or you were taking more from somebody than you were putting in, if anything like that comes out, at this point it might feel like a release. Like there's a sense of freedom in this coming to an end. You have to go through this to get to this. I don't know if you could see clear enough in these cards. This woman has these strings that are coming from this heart and they're kind of wrapped around her body, almost like choking her. And there's such a dark energy. And there's strings. There's strings that are pulling her in all different directions, pulling her heart in so many different directions. It's almost as if she is being tortured. But this Three of Wands, this Three of Wands feels healing. It feels honest. It feels like there is some sort of truth. There is some sort of communication that occurs here that gives you a little bit more room to breathe. Now, next to this Three of Swords is a Five of Cups card in reverse, and underneath that is the Four of Swords. And so this tells me, great, you're not holding on to pain, you're not holding on to shame, you're not holding on to guilt. However, these are in the challenge position. So I think in a lot of ways you may be compelled, you may be tempted to not really look at this for what it is. You may be tempted to just let things be exposed so that you could walk away, feeling that relief and then walking away. But I promise you with this Moon card that you will not be released from this Five of Cups energy until you forgive and heal from it, until you see it for what it is, until you feel the consequences of what truly happened, so that you could see it and heal it. It's a repeated theme within these cards of something being shown to you so you could heal it. And so please resist any temptation to focus on other things and not deal with the emotional end of this. If something's coming to an end, if there's a relationship ending because of something that you did that gets exposed, you might be compelled to act like you don't care, like you're not sorry. Your ego, Knight of Wands, might be tempted to say it doesn't matter anyways. It may be tempted to say, I have other people I could go to. I have other options. But the Four of Swords energy is really this deep need to see this for what it is, so you could heal it, so you could stop this pattern. Anytime I see a circle in my cards, I'm reminded of cycles, patterns, things that you've done repeatedly. And at some point, you got to get off the wheel and you got to go within. This is kind of like putting yourself in this womb, in this safety, so that you could heal this stuff. It usually involves time. It usually involves a break. I definitely see an ending of a relationship here. And, you know, with that Three of Swords and the Three of Cups, you may also be tempted to try to reconcile, to make a quick apology, this Knight of Wands, to make some sort of a concerted effort to make it better, but not really accepting the truth of how you hurt somebody, how you disappointed somebody, how you took a toll on their emotional energy. The outcome is the Nine of Pentacles. So if it is reconciliation that you are after, then in order to have that reconciliation, you have to get to a Nine of Pentacles place. The Nine of Pentacles place is a really important place to be because she's a pre-empress, meaning she's a really good match for this King of Wands. She's a really good vibrational match for what it is you're desiring. But you have to get here, meaning you have to do the hard work. You have to invest in yourself. You have to see your own worth. You have to do things with integrity. This is Virgo energy. If there are parts of you that are not operating out of full integrity, if there are parts of you that are offering somebody things you have no intention of following through on, the universe won't allow it to happen. So you have to get to this Nine of Pentacles, where you truly believe that you are capable of doing the things you say you're going to do. There's always a level of commitment in this Nine of Pentacles because it's a commitment to self. It's a commitment to make yourself the best person you could be. It's a commitment to clean up the things you need to clean up. Clean up your diet, clean up your house, clean up the clutter in your life. Allow things to shine. Allow the things that you have to show value. Because underneath that Three of Pentacles is the Three of Wands, meaning that who you are is exactly what you're attracting to you. Now you're in an element where you don't have to repeat this karmic cycle anymore. You're in a place where you've closed out this old behavior, this behavior where you sabotaged yourself from really having your heart's desire. And the Three of Wands says the universe is going to bring it back. The Three of Wands says what you are desiring, what you have your sights set on, is coming to you. It's headed your way, and you're ready because you're in balance. You're ready to go through that portal because 9 of Pentacles, you believe in yourself. But if you're not willing to face this, and if you stay on this karmic cycle, if you reconcile without actually healing, without actually telling the truth, there's a lot about truth here, then you're just going to keep doing the same thing over and over, which is going to eventually chip away at that 9 of Pentacles energy, where you believe you can have the things that you deserve, where you believe you are worthy. See, if you don't honor another person's feelings, commitment, or, if you are a little bit reckless with someone else's heart, and you don't feel the guilt and the shame that comes with it, you don't allow yourself to feel that, then you don't allow yourself to forgive. And that lives inside you like a poison, right? And it chips away at your self-worth, and you start to believe that you're only ever going to attract relationships that are worthy of that vibration. And if you don't think you're worthy, you're probably not going to attract somebody who is worthy of much, who is able to be of abundance, who is able to really share in the happiness and the joy that life can bring. Now, I do have to say, your oracle cards, I choose to learn through love. So yes, this is probably in regards to some sort of a loving relationship. It doesn't necessarily have to be a partner. However, I am picking up on the vibe with the third party, the need for coming out. It does appear to be somewhat of a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife scenario. Now, underneath these cards of the death and rebirth and the 3 of Swords is the ghost dance. And this is exactly what I'm saying about this repeated cycle with you, the ghost dance. Now, this is card number 22. It's a divine number. It means that things are happening to you right now that are happening for you in order for you to have this growth, in order for you to have this understanding. Okay, the ghost dance is when the ghosts from our past start to creep up. As things start to come to the surface, secrets are coming out. Things are getting exposed so that they can be healed, so that all parties affected are aware. And underneath this 3 of Cups and this 3 of Swords is Treasure Island, card number 9, which is a tricky number. And that's a tricky energy. And this is where I'm saying, if you think that you're going to get out of this unscathed, if you think you're going to reconcile or come back together with somebody without telling them the truth, the universe is going to correct that. Treasure Island means there's great potential here. There's potential for healing. There's potential for dreams coming true. There's potential for growth. But in that is an emotional journey of truth, of facing reality. Treasure Island is a place of fantasy where we idealize people. And if you are allowing somebody to idealize you when you yourself are not worthy, then you're building castles on sand. There are and will not be strong foundations. Underneath that 3 of Wands, you got the balsamic moon, a time of healing. And that is what I'm saying, is that you have to allow this to happen. You have to be honest. You have to come with integrity now. Next to that 9 of Pentacles is a card of success. I know that there is no greater goal than to love. And that's the lesson that you learn. To be grateful that the relationships that bring you that feeling of love, to embrace them and to embrace the feeling of love within you. You don't have to keep things bottled up inside like a poison that eats you from the insides and makes you incapable of loving other people. Those things can heal now. And next to this Three of Wands is the Age of Light. You've been training for this for lifetimes. Yeah. Again, karmic cycles. Karmic cycles. You have been struggling with this thing, with this issue for a really long time. This has been an overwhelming theme. Now, not all of you are serial cheaters for the past lifetimes. Maybe this is just simply you not being able to be who you truly are. Maybe it's just you holding in a truth within you that's holding you back from being who you really are. But either way, this is relief. This too is freedom. This is enlightenment. This is an ability to see this situation as a gift and as an opportunity for growth, for expansion. This is lessons learned. These are gifts brought to you by the universe so that you could move on with your life and obtain the things that you truly desire. And I think with that Moon card, that you've been in the dark for a really long time about what it truly is that you want. Maybe in a place of ego where you didn't want to admit you wanted a loving relationship. You didn't want to admit that you wanted a family or that you wanted this job opportunity for fear that if you wanted something, it would hurt or it would be embarrassing if it didn't work out. King of Wands follows his heart. He listens to his intuition. He is mature. He respects other people. It is Leo, and it is much about respect. It is so much about honesty, and it is so much about alignment of what it is that we desire. Okay, pile number one, I'll leave you there. If this is the only pile you're listening to, thank you very much for taking the time to listen, and thank you for being a part of my channel. I ask that you please hit the like button. It's much appreciated so we could help this channel grow and build a community. And I really hope that these next 2 weeks you find the strength and the endurance to get through any hard times you reach right now. And please know that you are never alone, and I send you all of my love and support and light. Take care. See you soon. Okay, pile number 2. I'm just going to grab a quick sip of coffee. Okay. Card number 2, my blue stone. I was picking up on that communication, need for communication or truth in some way. So you are coming out as the Page of Pentacles. I like that. And your environment is that of the Empress. So that is a pretty magical feeling, to be honest with you. I'm picking up on immediately an opportunity for growth, a seed being planted, and the Empress is fertility. It's fertile ground. It's the ability to take something small and turn it into something really beautiful. Okay, so your cards are the Death card in reverse, clarified by the Ace of Cups in reverse. We have the Five of Pentacles, clarified by the Six of Cups in reverse. We have the World card with the Sun card in reverse. The Three of Cups with the Two of Wands, in reverse. And the Moon card, clarified by the Eight of Swords in reverse. All right, lots of stuff going on there. Let me just lay out your oracle cards and then we will get through these one by one. Yeah, communication is key. For sure, there are things that need to be said or heard this month, this period of time, 2 weeks, however it plays out in your life. Time is so fluid, guys. It's so weird. Okay, so let's talk about this Page of Pentacles and this Empress. Well, the Page of Pentacles is somebody who is in the element of building new foundations, investing. Now, it's not a big investment. It's not buying a house or anything like that, but it could be, you know, investing in maybe the laptop you need to start your new website, or, you know, it's also willingness to learn. It's willingness to look at the reality of what our life is and the things that we want. And it's an ability to be open to suggestions. Page of Pentacles isn't very stubborn. It's more of a flexible, kind of mutable, earthy energy. And the Page of Pentacles can be a time of discovery, a time of discovering what is really in us, what we are truly made of. So I think that you're in the process or in the beginning stages of discovering your real value. I love this card. I love this particular Empress card because she is so peaceful. The Empress is really a beautiful energy because she doesn't push. There's no pushing here. There's no need. There's no lack mentality going on within the Empress. There's absolutely no, I'm not good enough. There's no, I could never attract something like that, or I could never do something like that, or I could never learn something like that. The Empress knows that she's capable of doing whatever it is she wants. She's capable of getting anything she wants, of attracting anyone she wants. You may be coming off really beautiful this month. Now, maybe physically something's going on. Maybe you're feeling more confident. Maybe people are really making you change the way that you feel about yourself. This Death card in reverse with the Ace of Cups in reverse means that you are resisting something. You are resisting a situation or a relationship or a financial issue. You are resisting to look at it, and you are resisting to overcome it. You are resisting an ending here. This is fixed energy, low vibrational fixed energy. And the Ace of Cups in reverse means you are not loving yourself. Right now, in this situation, whatever it is that you're in, you are not loving yourself. Because if you were honoring yourself, if you were loving yourself, if you were taking care and putting energy into yourself the way you should be, then you wouldn't resist the Death card. You wouldn't resist this process. This death card in reverse is always an indication to me that we are holding other people's stuff. Things that we feel responsible for, burdens that we feel we have to carry, commitments that we have made that are dragging us down, making us actually incapable of loving ourselves, whether that's somebody taking too much of your time, somebody taking too much of your energy, somebody taking too much of your love, somebody taking you for granted. Not accepting that a situation has to change in order for you to get out of this feeling that you are not loved. Ace of Cups in reverse means feeling rejected. It means feeling like something or someone or a group of people doesn't love you, doesn't honor you, doesn't cherish you. Next to the Death card in reverse is the Five of Pentacles, and beneath that is the Six of Cups in reverse. Yeah. This is what you're holding on to. This feeling like I am not enough. I don't have enough. There is a very deep, deep wound here that is being exposed at this time with that Five of Pentacles. You could be in some real financial situations. You could be at the breaking point of not being able to make ends meet. You may be facing some real fears right now. And the thing is, with the Six of Cups in reverse, I don't think you have anybody. I think you feel like you don't have anyone to ask for help. And there's this really hard, almost gut-wrenching feeling of being alone. Like you don't matter really to anyone. You don't have this special connection to anyone, which is simply untrue. It is absolutely 100% not true. And I don't think that your environment, the environment of the Empress, is indicative of this. I think this is an illusion. Ace of Cups in reverse. I do want to tell you that if you are in relationships, if you are in situations, jobs, whatever it is, whatever this plays out in your life as, if you are in situations where you are feeling rejected, where you are feeling unwanted, like you are feeling like you don't matter, sometimes you get sucked in. Your vibration goes down and you just start to live in this place where you don't love yourself. You don't stick up for yourself. You continue to allow yourself to be whatever it is, neglected, unsupported, uncared for by a certain person or a certain situation. It eventually bleeds into the other elements within your life. So if you are investing a lot of love in a relationship or a lot of time into a job and you're not getting anywhere, you're not getting recognized for your hard work, there's no love given back in the situation, you get down into this low vibrational place and You do things to fill voids, which probably sabotage you in a lot of ways. You may tend to really not see things the way that they really are. Because when we're in a depressed state, which is this energy, it's not really seeing the things that are really in our lives. Because there's no way that Ace of Cups is in reverse and Six of Cups is in a reverse, and yet your environment is that of the Empress, meaning you are surrounded by love. You are surrounded by people that respect you. You are surrounded. You are in an element where people look up to you, where there's fertile ground for growth. Now the World card, next to that Five of Pentacles, and the Sun card in reverse underneath, is a breakthrough. This is where you're allowed to get off this merry-go-round. This is a gift brought to you by the universe. Depending upon where you are in your journey, depending on your ability to flow with the things that are going on in your life, your ability to accept when things are over, your ability to speak your truth, to ask what you need, to demand a certain level of respect within the people in your life. When you start to draw these boundaries, cycles, a circle. And the universe wants you to put yourself inside that boundary, inside that bubble, where you don't allow people to ever make you feel like this. Like you can't survive, like you're not enough, like you don't deserve. Five of Pentacles, if somebody has told you that they want to leave a situation, it is a blessing. If somebody or something is leaving your life, if you've lost a job, it might be hard. It might be really scary. It might really be a dark night of the soul kind of moment where you're not really sure how you're going to make ends meet, how you're going to sustain another week or another day. But this is exactly what's being broken. This is the universe kind of taking you down to your knees, stripping you of all of the things that aren't essential, of all of the things that you don't actually need, so you could start a new cycle. There's definitely a feeling like somebody here is suffering from depression, suffering from some kind of mental anguish, and maybe there was a loss, maybe there was a rejection of some sort, but there's a real importance here that you focus on your stability, that you face any form of codependency that you have. I say that because a World card comes out next to the Three of Cups, the Two of Wands in reverse. These are your challenge cards. And there's a lot of depressed energy here. And you are in the element of the Empress. You are in the environment of the Empress, and that at times can be somewhat of a curse. Because if the things that you want and desire out of a place of lack and emptiness, if they come out of a place of hopelessness, then the Three of Cups is an indication that you're going to find the wrong ways to fill these voids. This is about overindulgence. This is about getting lost in the shallow parts of life. This is about distracting yourself with going out with friends, being in social places, or this is a card of that one drink you have to take the edge off turns into 2 drinks, turns into 3 drinks, turns into an issue. It's an element of not healing yourself properly. And the 2 of Wands in reverse tells me that there is a portal, there is an opportunity, there is a doorway open to you that you will not be able to see it for what it is if you are in this 3 of Cups place. If you are attempting to just not feel, to not deal with all of this pain. If you think that you could just numb it with drugs or alcohol or shopping or any kind of indulgence of any sort, any kind of instant gratification from external energies, you're going to miss this opportunity. You're going to miss this chance. And the Moon card with the 8 of Swords means it's dark and you can't see. You can't truly see right now why all of this is happening. You can't truly embrace or understand why the loss needed to happen. Why that thing didn't work out. And the Moon card says that you could be here for a little while. That this might take maybe a month or so. This process of what looks to me like the chance for recovery. The chance to recover. Eight of Swords in reverse means you're going to have the strength you didn't even know you had. You're going to have the endurance you didn't know you had. You're going to have the intuition that you had no idea that you were capable. The Moon card with that 8 of Swords also tells me that if you are in a cycle of overindulgence, of filling voids, of relying on addictions, or just being really hopeless and maybe really in a rough place mentally, in a scary place, sometimes the Moon can really emphasize those fears, and that 8 of Swords in reverse is more of an emphasis on those fears. But the Moon is also, again, that opportunity. There is opportunity if you can let yourself step out. 8 of Swords in reverse. You release yourself from whatever trapped cycle that you are in here. A trapped cycle of failed relationships, and then you spend your time drinking or going out with friends or partying so that you don't have to really look at why this ended, why this didn't work out, why this job didn't work out. You know, 5 of Pentacles is always indicative of my victim card. Maybe the truth is you were causing other people to be a victim all along, or you are allowing yourself to be a victim repeatedly, that you put yourself in that place. And the World card says, no, there's a safer place for you. Take this opportunity. And now here's where things get really interesting. I really feel like, because I pulled that, the stone, the blue, communication, and I was getting intuitive hits of the need to communicate. And I'm looking at these cards and I'm thinking, whatever situation is going on here, and it will be different for everybody, there's an overwhelming need for you to be able to ask for help. If you look at this card and this card, both somewhat framing the entire reading, the bookends of the reading, right? Emphasis on her throat. And in this picture, she has her hands actually wrapped around her throat, withholding communication. And if you come emotionally from a place where you don't think that other people care what happens to you, if you think that other people don't love you enough to help you through this time, then you're going to repeat these cycles. And you're not going to take this opportunity. Your oracle cards, balance. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. Something in your life is out of balance, and yet something is so out of control, and yet you don't want anyone to know because you're afraid of other people judging you. You know, you don't want to tell your friends or your family that you're really struggling with this addiction, or you don't want to tell a partner or a spouse that you don't have enough money, or, you know, whatever it is that you're afraid to say out loud because you fear that you will be persecuted. And that is exactly the emotion. That is exactly what you are clearing out. Card of I witness the darkness and call on the light with my prayer. Thank you, universe, for guiding me to perceive this fear through the eyes of the teacher of love. I witness the darkness. You are in the darkness. You are seeing it. Every horrible aspect, every fear is creeping in, every element of lack of sustaining the way you have been living this far. And it is in deciding to love yourself, deciding to take this opportunity, deciding to tell somebody that you need help. It's picking up your phone and making an appointment at a therapist's office. It's making an appointment with a doctor to get on medication. It's checking yourself into rehab. It's telling your partner where you truly are. It's so many things. Because there's this void that's been with you for so long. Card number 49, soul retrieval. There are parts of you that are simply lost. Soul retrieval is a very healing process for anyone struggling with forms of addiction or depression or debilitating anxiety. Soul retrieval is a shaman practice where we recognize that there are parts of us. It's almost like our inability to be happy, our inability to feel satisfied, our inability to ever feel as though we have enough. There is this block within us. There is simply an inability to thrive, to sustain. And this pain may come from different lifetimes. You may not understand it. You may say to yourself, I didn't have a bad childhood. I didn't have bad relationships. I don't know why I feel this way. I don't know why I do the things that I do. I don't know why I feel the pain that I feel. Card number 49 is that now the portal, the opportunity before you, is a real chance to fill those voids with the actual missing pieces, not with the things that distract you, not with the things that numb you. It's really taking the time. It is deep therapy. It's deep psychological 8th house, 12th house, transit, Pluto kind of cleaning you out emotionally so that you can rebuild. Tick-tock. Saturn, moving direct, is your opportunity to get your feet back on the ground. This is your opportunity to heal, and time is of the essence. You may be in a really bad place, but the ideas, the people, the situations that can help you are on their way. But the communication is key. You have to tell people what you're going through. You have to risk being judged. You have to say the things. You have to release those feelings. You have to tell the truth. You have to ask for help. Final two cards. Card number 30, breaking down to a 3, which is a beautiful energy of creativity, of beauty, of belonging. It is the Holy Trinity. It is the ultimate alignment, mind, body, and soul. And it says, take a leap of faith. Tick, tock. Take a leap of faith. Do it now. Don't look back. Do not hesitate. And clarifying that energy is yes. Do it. Now is the time. Just say yes. And I do have to tell you, I have to express to you one more time that your environment is that of an empress. Your environment is nurturing. It's needing expansion. It is capable of growth. It is worthy of your trust. It is worthy of your faith. So if it is judgment that you are afraid of, if it is persecution that you fear, then remove that fear entirely, because it is not the case at all. Because this lack of love and this lack of abundance and this feeling that nobody cares truly is an illusion. When you take a leap of faith, the universe will catch you. The universe will give you the right people. The universe will always provide. They will provide you with the money. They will provide you with the shelter. They will provide you with the strength. You will be received. You will be loved. You will be nurtured. And this is such a blessing. Wow. Really, really powerful reading there. Whew. Okay, pile number 2. If this is where I'm leaving you, then I just want to say thank you so much for being a part of this channel. If you don't mind, please click a like, share, and subscribe to the channel as we're growing a strong community, which is really important to me. And please, if you take anything from this reading, please know that no matter how dark things feel right now, that is not actually the reality of your life, and that you deserve and you are worthy of so much more. I'm sending you so much love, guys. Have a wonderful end of September, and I'll see you in your October readings. Bye. Okay, pile number 3. Take a sip of water. These have been some really heavy readings, guys. These have been some really powerful emotions here. And honestly, I think I'm going to take a nap after this. Okay, pile number 3, this beautiful green aura stone, which reminds me of the heart chakra opening, you know, being open to love, being open to learning what it truly is, not, you know, the idea that society kind of puts on us, because this is a deep emotional feeling card, right? Oh, you guys are coming out as a high priestess. No coincidence. She is surrounded by that greenish teal color, right? Card number 19. The environment. Your situation is that of the sun. What a beautiful, beautiful energy to be in. Before I go any further, I just want to point out the element of gold, the element of abundance, and the overwhelming warmth. I swear I can almost feel, when I look at this card, I could feel the actual sun rays on my skin, what it feels like to, you know, like be laying in the sun out on a summer day, relaxing, resting your body, really being kind of aware of what things feel like, kind of being in tune with all of your senses in a way in which you're grateful for. Okay, let's look at these cards. Okay. And this pile is certainly not looking like it's going to be any less powerful than the first 2. Man, this Mars retrograde and all this Mercury stuff, it's like really making things happen, making us make new plans, devise new stuff. I just never ever stop loving these cards. I never stop being amazed at how well Spirit is at really communicating. Okay, pile number 3. Yeah. So the High Priestess energy. things may not appear the way that they truly are. Or maybe things aren't the way that they appear right now. And I think the High Priestess is a promise that there's probably something inside of you that knows that something's not right. Something isn't serving you. It's not serving your higher being, the High Priestess. I do have to tell you that there are 2 different Seven of Cups in this reading. Now, it's not a Seven of Swords, so I'm not sold on an idea that anybody's cheating on you or stealing from you or betraying you in any way. However, there is an element of confusion. 7 of Cups, not seeing things for what they are. And yet your environment is that of the sun, meaning things are actually very illuminated at this time. Things are out in the open. People are who they really are. And sometimes this High Priestess can do a number on us because sometimes our mind is really hard to decipher the voice of our High Priestess, the voice of our higher being, and the voice in our mind, the part of our mind where we make intelligent plans, we make intelligent decisions. However, they're in a logical place. And the High Priestess means you've got to come from someplace higher, a higher perspective. Maybe there's more to the story that needs to be revealed. Maybe there's more secrets that have to be revealed. Maybe there's more things you need to learn about yourself in order to understand what's truly going on here. Now we have the 8 of Pentacles and the Justice card in reverse. So this is indicative of someone who is out of alignment. This could be in a lot of different ways. It could be not really putting in the work in a career or a job, not really putting in that effort. It could be not enjoying what you're doing. Maybe it just feels repetitive. Maybe it just feels like you're doing the same thing over and over and not really making any progress. 8 of Pentacles in reverse could mean that you're putting in a lot of money or you're putting in a lot of energy and you're not getting anything of value back. Justice card in reverse. There's no return on this investment. It could also be where somebody in your life is no longer working on a partnership. And it doesn't have to be in love. Maybe this is a business partner and they got stuff going on and they're really not doing the things that they need to do. And Justice card in reverse means that you may be the one suffering the consequences of this person not doing the things they need to do, not working on the things they need to work on. If you're in a relationship that's suffering because somebody's not, growing the same way that you're growing spiritually, somebody's not as willing as you are to really look at themselves and look at their life and make the changes they need to make, then you simply will not be able to be a vibrational match for each other. Next to that 8 of Pentacles and the Justice card in reverse is the Knight of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. And I have to tell you that sometimes I really love a Knight of Cups because there's a couple of different ways that I see him, and there's actually a couple of different ways I see him in this reading, and I think that is imperative to tell you, because ultimately you're heading to the place of a Two of Swords, of making a decision. There are two different paths that you could take. And underneath this Eight of Pentacles, the Justice of Reverse, she's looking in a mirror. There's a reflection. Again, two different ways to look at this situation. Knight of Cups can be very romantic. He could be very, I'm in love with you, I think that someday we'll get married and run off. Or, you know, he could be really creative and really impulsive in a lot of ways. And we need that Knight of Cups energy when we really want to wear our heart on our sleeves, when we really want to achieve a deeper type of love, like, you know, tell somebody that you really love them, or tell a boss at work that you really feel like you deserve this promotion. And the Ace of Pentacles in reverse is indicative, especially next to the Justice card in reverse, that there is really no solid foundation for this King of Cups. And there does seem to be an element of fantasy coming through here. There does seem to be an element of maybe repeatedly looking on the bright side, hoping this is going to get better, hoping the situation is going to change, hoping that eventually this King of Cups is going to turn out to be that, or I'm sorry, this Knight of Cups is going to turn out to be that King of Cups. But it's not. Ace of Pentacles in reverse. This King of Cups is simply there to fill some sort of emotional void within somebody. It's simply somebody wanting to pretend to feel what it's like to be in love, but not actually invest in it, to not invite any growth into it. This is kind of like this person that comes into your life and tells you they want to build a life and a future with you, and yet months and years go by and you're still just barely dating, right? In and out, but when they come, it's really, really, really nice. And the King of Cups tells me that this is really something that you love. It's something that you really wanted to work out. It's maybe somebody that you really wanted to be the one. Nine of Swords, Seven of Cups in reverse, coming out underneath this High Priestess. This High Priestess, your intuition is screaming at you. It is screaming at you to look at this situation for what it is. It's screaming at you that you are spending way too much time in this Nine of Swords energy of worry. Is it going to happen? Is it going to work out? Do they love me? Don't they love me? Will I get the job? Won't I get the job? How will everything work out? What is the outcome? Searching for answers, watching 9 million tarot card readings. I've been there, I know, right? Nine of Swords energy is hard. It's mental and it's exhausting. Trying to guess everybody's next move, like a chess game, losing sleep over being ready for the disaster that may not even occur, may not even come. Because a lot of times this Nine of Swords energy, again, is illusion. And the Seven of Cups in reverse is the ability to see things for what they are. If you look at them from the High Priestess higher perspective. There's a real need right now to kind of shut down the noise. There's a real need for you to maybe not talk to other people so much about this situation. Whatever it is. If you're breaking up with a boyfriend, you know, maybe right now it's not the best idea to go and consult all 95 of your girlfriends to find out what they think you should do. I think Nine of Swords is giving way too much, you know, emotional space, mental space, focusing and obsessing really over something you really don't even have control over. Is your worrying going to make this person reinvest? Is your worrying going to make this person love you? Probably not. The worrying, the anxiety is honestly, oh, my nose is itching, I'm channeling. The Nine of Swords energy is honestly the biggest waste of time and energy a person can be in. The Seven of Cups in reverse, the universe is making it really obvious. And it's going to continue to make this obvious. It's going to continue to make this Eight of Pentacles in reverse. This person not doing the things they said they would do, not returning the text, not answering the phone calls, not tending to the emails, not helping in the yard, whatever it is, it will become so repeated. And it will put you in this place where you can no longer deny. Seven of Cups in reverse, you can no longer deny that this is just not working. This partnership, this element of your life is just not meant to work out. Next to that Nine of Swords is another Seven of Cups upright. And the Eight of Wands in reverse. More confusion. Yes, now I know I said you're coming out of confusion, but I think that Nine of Swords happens because you see things for what they truly are. They're a slap in the face. They are so obvious that you are forced, you can't pull the wool over your eyes any longer. These things can't be ignored. They have to be addressed. And yet, Seven of Cups, I don't know how. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to make this better. There could be a million different options. And sometimes when we're coming from a Nine of Swords energy into a Seven of Cups energy, we could tend to manipulate the situation. And these are your challenge cards this month. Do not attempt to reel this person back in. Do not come off as needy. Do not plan silly ideas. Do not run to them the second you have an issue. You know, if you're telling somebody you're leaving them because they're simply not participating the way you need them to in something, and then you turn around and throw another problem at them, you just keep feeding into the situation. And the Eight of Wands in reverse means it's best to stop communication. The best action right now is for you to retract your energy, for you to stop focusing. The answer is not create a million different ways in which you have to talk to this person one more time, right? This is where you send an email and you say, hey, I need you to send me this thing I left at your house. And then, you know, the next day you think of another reason why you have to contact this person. over and over. It's like you want to keep trying to make something work. The Eight of Wands says the best plan of action is no action at all. Retract your energy. Pull back. Two of Swords. The Five of Cups in reverse. Yeah. This is going to require a decision. Yeah, you're going to have to make a decision that comes from your intuition, because even though the universe is making this really, really obvious, and the High Priestess tells me that even you know, deep down, you know that this situation isn't good for you, that this situation is never going to provide anything for you, that there is simply Ace of Pentacles in reverse. There is no opportunity for growth here. It is never going to be anything more than a Knight of Cups. It's never going to be anything more than a couple of nice dates or a couple of nice dinners or a couple of decent sales or a couple of decent ideas. But it's not long term, and it doesn't meet your vibration, and it doesn't meet your needs. And yet you're choosing to keep the blindfold on. And you're choosing to keep the blindfold on because Five of Cups in reverse, you're afraid you're going to regret this decision. You're not. You're not going to regret when you leave this behind. You're not going to regret walking away from this. And furthermore, if you don't take action, if you don't make that decision to take the blindfolds off, to see this person for who they really are, to understand the situation is probably never going to get better, and how could you regret walking away from it? How could you see it as a loss? Why would you mourn or hesitate leaving behind something that makes you feel bad? And I think if you could take a moment, if you could take a chance now to see things for what they truly are and to take the blindfolds off, I think you won't have to drag this around so much. I think you won't have to feel this so much as like a rejection or a denial. Like you just simply don't have to do that. Now, next to this Eight of Pentacles in reverse, which I think is your person's energy, I find a deeper meaning and personal growth amid the discomfort, right? Like either this person is making things really uncomfortable, making you really uncomfortable. Maybe they're pushing you away. Maybe they're, invested more in their work and less in you, less in the relationship. But nonetheless, the more you resist reality, the more the stings are going to hurt, The universe is making things uncomfortable so that you move away from it. Next to the Justice card in reverse, relationships. I am attracted to those people who serve my higher good. Justice in reverse. This is what you have to correct. This is what you have to understand. This is the lesson that you're learning here, is that there's no responsibility to stay in relationships that don't feel good. I don't know if you feel responsibility like maybe you have to change this person. Maybe you have to make them fall in love with you. Maybe you have to force them to want the same things. Or maybe you feel like you could change yourself in order to be the person they need you to be. But that's really, at the end of the day, like the worst feeling in the world. It's the definition of settling. It's the definition of wanting something just to want it, and the second you have it, then you're stuck with it. You're stuck with the reality. You're stuck with the thing you attracted because you felt like that's what you were worthy of. Why would you want to stay there? Underneath the Justice card in reverse and the Ace of Pentacles in reverse and the slap of reality is card number 11, the Council. The Council. Meaning that the universe has actually taken this situation over. That you have put in so much effort. You have really done that Knight of Cups thing. You have really given it your all. And you keep getting nothing back in return. And the universe says, well, how long are we going to keep making them do this? How long is this person going to stay here? Because that Mars in Aries means we can't stay here. We can't stay in these uncomfortable situations anymore. And the Divine, card number 11, the card of divine intervention, means that the universe is making this simply unbearable for you. It is becoming unbearable. And underneath that Nine of Swords, meditate and contemplate. And again, that color green. It's time to go within. It's time to take a little bit of a solo trip. It's time to pull back that energy. Because if you could see this from a different perspective, if you could see this from a higher vantage point, if you were, kind of like out of your body, if you were actually watching this thing play out like you were watching a movie, you would probably be horrified. You would probably be horrified with your behavior. Like, oh my God, why are you settling for that? Why are you accepting that? And yet there's all this clutter in our mind that says, no, but there could be something else we could do. There could be a way to salvage it, to fix it. Nine of Swords means you're not quite at the 10 of Swords yet. You're still somehow, some way, an ounce of hope within you. But it's an illusion. And right now, the universe wants you to choose yourself. To stop giving to this thing that is never going to give back. Stop investing in this thing that's never going to give you growth. Card number 15, breaking down to a 6, another very divine number of intervention. Message in a bottle. The messages are gonna become clear. And if you don't pick up on the messages intuitively, they're going to manifest in the outside world. They're going to manifest by this person walking away from you, this tough conversation occurring, or you being pushed to your limit until you simply say, I cannot tolerate this anymore. But the moment that you do that, the moment that that breakthrough occurs, the moment that you find the strength and the value in yourself to say, hell no, I deserve more, I deserve better, is a moment that this happens, that this heart chakra opens, that it flourishes, and it's not out of love for somebody else, it's out of love for you. And the Sun card is the energy representing an opportunity for you to fall in love with yourself. This relationship or partnership has to come to an end so that you could go on this journey where you fall in love with yourself. And congratulations, because it is a really magical journey. Once you make it, You never go back. You never allow these people to affect you anymore. When you love yourself, when you value yourself, when you are so in love with yourself and your own energy that you simply don't need anyone else. So you really just love who you are and what you do and what your life has in the moment. And it's not always about what's coming next or what do you need or what are you going to need. It's not always about being prepared or knowing what the future is going to bring you. It's all about being in the moment. Being in love with who you are and not needing anybody else. Last two oracle cards. Align your life. What is not aligned or needs to change. Right next to that Two of Swords, it is unavoidable. It is unavoidable. And so you know that the longer you take to get to this decision, to get rid of this energy, the more things in your life will fall apart. It's energy. First, it will destroy your emotions from the inside, and then suddenly things on the outside will start to crumble. If you're in an unrequited love situation, then all of a sudden you realize you're also running out of money. You're also not feeling as creative. Then you suddenly don't have energy. It all manifests in the 3D world. And lack of money, lack of finances, lack of confidence, lack of self-esteem and unworthiness, those are all symptoms. Those are all symptoms from not being in love with yourself. And if it couldn't get any clearer, card number 54, breaking down to a 9. Skunk spirit. Know your worth. That's what this journey is about. Figuring out what you're worth and not accepting anything less. Skunk spirit is also indicative of, in spite of your flaws, in spite of maybe the things that you find unappealing about you, anything from not having enough money to being sloppy to not feeling attractive to literal, smelliness, whatever it is. Whatever flaws you have make you you. They make you special. Any obstacles that you've had to overcome make you stronger, make you better. Any heartbreak makes you wiser, right? Those flaws hold beauty. Failures bring wisdom, which bring value. Skunk spirit may not have been an easy road, but you got a lot of things backing you up now. You got a lot of value. And skunk spirit, know your worth. I think a lot of people are going to want to be a part of this. And when you get yourself out of this unrequited situation of any regard, when you bring that balance into your life, when you realign and love yourself, you will attract things of great value. The Sun card. It will come naturally. And at some point, you will look back at this period of time and wonder why you spent 1 minute in that 9 of Swords place of worrying about hurting other people's feelings or you getting hurt or just the reality of the disappointment. You won't even understand why you stayed there to begin with. Growth. all the elements you need to grow. All right, pile number 3. I want to take a minute to thank you for sticking around, for listening to, my interpretation of this energy for you. Please know that I truly appreciate everything and everyone, and appreciate you being a part of this channel. I will be back doing your October readings very soon. Please know that the energy may be rough at times, but that you are not alone, and that we are never alone, and that there's a lot of people on the other side working on our behalf to fix these messes in our lives. And if anything, you really need to have faith. Have faith in that. Have faith that things really are working out. All right, guys. Have a wonderful end of the month, and I'll see you in October. Bye.